Steps of the Asian Tigers. Kenya and Malaysia signed bilateral ties in maiden visit by Premier Anwar Ibrahim. It is now every trick in the political book, as political parties deploy their last arsenals 48 hours to the November 27th by-elections. Plus, uniting to speak in one voice, girls converge in Mombasa to push for an end to gender-based violence. Good evening, a very warm welcome to the broadcast. I am Muchuma Odim. Our sign language expert tonight is Lucy Mwaura. My colleague Tom Boya is away this evening. Talk to us on all our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1 on X, Facebook and YouTube. We begin with the lead story. President William Ruto says Kenya is following in the footsteps of Malaysia in the journey to transform from a third to a first world country through investment in infrastructure, energy and trade, among other sectors. President Ruto spoke while hosting Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim at State House, Nairobi. The two leaders signed bilateral agreements, including ease of travel between the two nations, among other areas of interest. Giverson Maina begins our coverage tonight with this story.
On the second day of his two-day official visit in Kenya, Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim arrived in the morning at State House, Nairobi, where he was hosted by President William Ruto. The Malaysian leader received full military honors that included inspecting a guard of honor and a 21-gun salute. Thereafter, the two leaders then retreated for bilateral talks. They signed several agreements, including on air services to expand connectivity and ease of travel between the two nations, a memorandum of understanding to promote tourism, a trade promotion agreement between the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry and Malaysia's National Chamber of Commerce, and a letter of intent establishing cooperation between the cities of Nairobi and Kuala Lumpur in areas of mutual interest.
This is not just a normal diplomatic engagement. I mean, President, you are able to charm us from Malaysia.
President Ruto saying Kenya is following in the footsteps of Malaysia in efforts to transform to first world status.
As we rise, we draw inspiration from nations like yours that embraced bold ambition over limitation and chose excellence instead of mediocrity. Kenya now stands ready to take its place among nations that we started with, like your own nation.
I have great belief that Kenya will be one of the stars in Africa.
Prime Minister Anwar hailed Kenya's affordable housing program as a great example to the rest of the African countries.
I don't think many countries, including Malaysia, has embarked that fast and that effective because your passion to provide housing for the people, particularly the poor, from Kenya.
Anwar also joined President Ruto in calling for reforms at the United Nations Security Council to onboard African countries on a permanent basis.
Africa has demanded 2 permanent seats on the UN Security Council with full rights, including the power of veto, as well as 2 additional non-permanent seats.
Giverson Maina, Prime Edition.
From Kenya-Malaysia ties to education matters, Kenya has reaffirmed its commitment to provide quality education to its citizenry and strengthen global partnerships in higher learning as the country hosts the first edition of Malaysia Africa Higher Education Forum. Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Ogamba said the forum offers a unique platform to reflect on how institutions of higher learning can be at the forefront of transformation by fostering academic collaborations, joint research, innovation, ecosystems, student mobility, and cultural exchanges. Prime Minister of Malaysia, Dato Seri Anwar bin Ibrahim, emphasized that education can be grounded on human values, noting that the rapid pace of technological changes requires countries to adapt quickly and decisively. The theme of the forum is intensifying internalization in the context of the Global South.
Indeed, we are looking forward to conducting and concluding a memorandum of understanding in higher education and TVET between our two nations. This memorandum of understanding will form a solid framework to guide our partnership in areas such as academic mobility, joint research, scholarships, and capacity building. This forum also speaks to our collective ambition to strengthen South-to-South cooperation in education and research, leveraging on comparative strength of our nations to address shared challenges such as climate change, digital transformation, and youth employability.
It's important because whilst we're craving, in Malaysia, for example, both we have Ministry of Education and Higher Education, I emphasize this point. The love of scholarship, yes. New technology, we cannot lose out. We have to get our students to master artificial intelligence and digital transformation and this new energy transition, because that would, they are fundamentals into the economic development and progress. But we cannot lose sight of human dignity, value and ethics.
The hardships, it is good that we begin with the hardship. It's a new partnership. Remember, the reason why we're here is to make sure that we change the narrative of the Malaysia-Africa higher education language.
President William Ruto is traveling to Luanda, Angola, to attend the 7th African Union-European Union Summit and the second session of the Ad Hoc Oversight Committee on African Union Institutional Reform. The president will chair the reform session in his role as the AU champion for institutional reform. The AU-EU summit will allow leaders to review 2 decades of Africa-Europe cooperation and respond to new pressures linked to shifting geopolitical priorities, funding gaps, and rising security threats. And to other developments, Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi has called on the Orange Democratic Movement supporters to back the broad-based government. Speaking in Uriri, Migori County, Mbadi said the current arrangement is the best way for the country, urging Kenyans to shun divisive politics. For ODM supporters, Mbadi said remaining in government is the best way to honor Raila Odinga's legacy.
This country is for all of us. This country needs peace. This country needs progress, and it needs development. We must talk to our people and tell them that the government of today has remembered all corners of the country. The government of today is not a government of only one section of this country. We are developing the country uniformly. That is why today I'm here and I'm discussing development with the people of Uriri.
Staying with politics, onto a story we highlighted for you at the beginning of the broadcast. The leader of the Democracy for Citizens Party, Rigathi Gachagua, has condemned the alleged acts of police brutality and violence that occurred during his visit to Narok Town on Monday to campaign for the DCP candidate for Narok Town Ward. Douglas Masikonde, Gachagua claims that hundreds of police officers mounted a roadblock on the Narok Bomet Road at Almasharaine deliberately obstructing the former deputy president's movement and preventing him from accessing Narok town via the routes.
Speaking on Monday while leading campaigns for UDA's candidate Leonard Wamuthende, Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki said security agencies are on high alert to prevent any attempts to disrupt the polls.
Baada ya Thursday, tutabaki tukiwa jamii moja, tutabaki tukiwa ndugu na dada. Wewe mtu ya mitego, wewe mtu ya kisirani, wacha kuleta mambo ya kuchafua wananchi hapa na kupiganisha wananchi.
In a dramatic twist, Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi was back on the campaign trail as Malava's DNA's candidate dropped his bid to support UDA's David Ndakwa. Elsewhere, Rigathi Gachagua claims that his journey to Narok was marred by tear gas and stone-throwing goons, accusing the police and his political nemesis of creating a tense and hostile political environment.
Sisi tutauziwa waka kweli. Hata mkitupa mawe. Kuja nini? Sikuna muko naye. Simutapigia maskonde.
Meanwhile, the government has issued a stern warning to chiefs and their assistants against engaging in political activities.
As we all understand, the government is committed to excellent, not only services, but excellent services to her people. And every government will always take pride when the people are served the best way possible. And we can only serve well if we come together as one whole in formidable team.
The caution came even as the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission called for strict adherence to electoral laws.
Kindly, the few remaining days, tafadhalini, let us have a peaceful campaign because we still need Malava come 27th of November.
IEBC began ferrying electoral materials to regions expected to conduct mini polls on Thursday.
Sisi kama security agencies tuliweza kuelezea hawa expectation yetu. Na lengo letu sisi wote kwa jumla ni a peaceful by-election ya Magharibi.
Meanwhile, as campaigns reach the home stretch, claims have emerged of attempts to compromise the conduct of the mini poll in Magarini.
Taarifa ambayo nimeona kutoka kwa kiongozi wa DCP leo asubuhi ikizunguka katika mitandao akisema kwamba ati mimi kama gavana wa Kilifi nina njama na watu wa ABC. Nataka nimwambie kwamba mimi nimefanya campaign kwa hii Magarini kwa muda sasa toka itangazwe hii by election, na muda huu wote watu wa Magarini wameweka amani, wamekuwa na heshima kwa viongozi wote wanaopigania.
The political context has somewhat mellowed in Baringo County following the withdrawal of Gideon Moi from the senatorial race.
Bado naomba tarehe 27 mwezi huu ambaye ni next week on Thursday tunaenda kufanya ile final by election, kura ya mwisho, ili niweze nipate nafasi niende kule Nairobi ndio wahudumie kama senator wa Baringo.
However, in regions such as Malava constituencies and Kariobangi North Ward, those seeking to plunder the establishment have warned that Thursday's mini poll is a mere dress rehearsal.
Mahali tunaelekea katika mapambano na tutapambana.
Doreen Arange for Prime Edition.
Onto a story compiled by Tilio Marco on security concerns. The 3-day public participation exercise on the draft Private Security Regulations 2025 has come to an end, with a section of stakeholders emphasizing on the need to pay more attention to the social welfare of the private security guards. The Private Security Regulatory Authority Chief Executive Officer Philip Okello said the views will be compiled and submitted to the Ministry of Interior for the next course of action.
Stakeholders in the private security sector convened at the Kenyatta International Convention Center in Nairobi on Monday for the final round of the 3 days public participation exercise on draft Private Security Regulations 2025. The participants took issue with some of the regulations, which they term as unmanageable and unnecessary, including one requiring 3 years of audited accounts for those intending to start security firms. Also provided for in the draft regulations is the inclusion of stewards, famously known as bouncers, in the private security sector.
Stewards are these people we call bouncers. These are people that I think in the system that we have left them to regulate themselves. And so we are happy that the DG has given us an opportunity to come here so that we can also be heard.
A section of private security firms submitted their memoranda.
Our work ends today and into the near future, such that we take them to the CS, who will forward transmission to the Bunge. And ours has been successful, as that now we've covered the entire country, as exposed in the 2010 Constitution, and that's what we think we needed to do.
The public participants regulations use of animals in private security services, appointment of board members and private security fidelity fund operations regulations 2024. Tilio Marco for Prime Edition.
Let's now take you to the Senate. Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja has defended his decision to move hospitals' deposits accounts to Credit Bank, saying it is offering better rates than other banks. Appearing before the Senate's devolution committee, the Nairobi governor said the county government was considering moving all its accounts to Credit Bank. The governor also insists no law was broken in the shift that was informed by administrative and financial considerations.
It is a concern. You move from a bank that has an asset base of 1.9 trillion, for instance, with customer deposits of 1.4 trillion. You would think that there would be safety in those numbers. And then you go and put it, our money. This money belongs to the people of Nairobi, to some entity that is doing less than even our total asset base as a county. If we were a bank, Governor, if we were a bank, what is the total asset base for our city? It's in the trillions of shillings, you know? So it doesn't make sense. It's an administrative decision, yes, but we would want to see that conversation.
I don't think any bank should be discriminated against. The procedures were followed. The PFM talks about how accounts are opened by counties. That was followed. I don't think anyone has a greater right, or any institution has a greater right. There is no law that says bank with equity or with co-op or with cooperative. So long as we looked at the risk involved and the deal, a better deal to the county in terms of processing, salary etc. We're confident about that, and it's a decision that we've made. Chair, the number of banks that a county can open, you're the ones who have legislated on it. You have said, number one, for instance, for every health facility, open an account. So if you have 300 hospitals, you'll have 300 accounts.
"14 minutes past the top of the hour. When we return, we'll tell you the dangers of buying pesticides from street hawkers. That and much more with the detail and clarity you deserve. Stay with us.
The Institution of Engineers of Kenya invites you to the 32nd IEK International Convention happening from 25th to 28th November 2025 at Pride in Paradise Beach Hotel and Spa Mombasa. This year's theme, Engineering the Future, the Roadmap for Kenya. Join engineers, industry leaders and global partners as we shape the blueprint for Kenya's sustainable development. Experience 4 days of powerful sessions, thought-provoking discussions, exhibitions and networking. All set against the serene coastal beauty of Mombasa. Don't miss your chance to connect, collaborate, and make an impact. Visit convention at iekenya.org to register and be part of a transformative experience that defines the future of engineering in Kenya. See you there. This event will be live on KBC Channel 1.
Both we come from United Kingdom.
Even you?
Yeah. Me, I come in United Kingdom slums. Listen very carefully, because this case you are going to be hanged.
Wewe ndiye nilitumia pesa sababu pesa ilikuwa na reflect shida yako.
And you say I'm calling you sugar? Look at me.
Oh yes.
I'm a perfect figure. I'm on a diet. That's all.
Yes.
Con Kenyan ladies.
Lea Premium Flour, nurturing the world. Available in a store near you.
When the hills gave way in Marakwet, thousands were left with nothing. But together, we can help them rise again. Join KBC in the Restore Hope, Restore Earth campaign, Unity in Adversity. Together for Marakwet. Donate through paybill number 522533, account number 8036543, or drop foodstuffs and supplies at Marakwet County offices. Every shilling, every tree, every act of kindness counts. KBC, bringing Kenyans together.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Kenya. Wake up with Good Morning Kenya, the morning show that's got it all.
We dive deep into issues shaping our country.
Youth are a voice of a nation.
What is the next step for the young people?
Unpacking political landscape from Monday to Wednesday.
We discuss family matters.
It is very important to guard your relationship.
And for your health.
Someone doesn't wake up and they become an addict. It's in stages.
We've got you covered each and every Tuesday at 9 a.m.
Every Wednesday, it's all about The Viewpoint.
A day in politics is like 1,000 years.
Unpacking the biggest stories of the week, getting you insights and getting you ready for your day.
And the package is not yet done. I get to fix your Thursday with some entertainment. Entertainment Thursday, it is.
Good morning, Kenya.
We shape your day.
Good Morning Kenya, every weekday morning on KBC Channel 1.
Welcome back to Prime Edition, our socials at KBC Channel 1 on X, Facebook and YouTube. Let's now take you to the corridors of justice. Busia Senator Okia Omtata has filed a petition challenging the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission's powers to verify, alter and retally presidential election results at the National Tallying Center. Omtata says Section 39 of the Elections Act, which introduced national-level verification and tallying, contradicts these constitutional provisions and has created room for confusion, duplication, and possible manipulation. In the petition, the Attorney General has also been faulted for failing to advise the government on the unconstitutionality of these electoral practices. Details in the Scales of Justice segment.
Under a certificate of urgency, the Senate argues the mandate is not provided for in the Constitution. In the petition, Omtata argues that the provisions of Article 86 and 138 of the Constitution outline a straightforward, transparent and final process for counting, tallying and declaring presidential election results at the constituency level, leaving no room for further verification at the national stage. Omtata argues the Constitution requires that votes be counted at polling stations, collected at the constituency, and the results declared promptly and openly by constituency returning officers, whose announcements are intended to be final. The senator further avers that the law passed by Parliament and the regulations crafted by the IBC have unlawfully expanded the Commission's powers by creating a national tallying centre that assumes a role the Constitution does not envisage. The petition also faults the Attorney General for failing to advise the government on the unconstitutionality of this electoral process, while Parliament is accused of passing legislation that undermines constitution safeguards intended to protect electoral integrity. Elsewhere, Justice Alexander Muteti has directed the murder case of Agnes Wanjiru, who was killed by a British soldier in 2012, be mentioned on December 16th. This is after the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution informed the court that the suspect Robert James Park in the custody of British authorities. That they information that Pakis is currently in custody at the UK authorities.
My Lord, according to the information we've been given by our extradition department, there is a case management. The matter is scheduled for case management on the 9th of December.
We are saying that the wheels of justice are moving properly thanks to the Kenyan government and the cooperation of the UK government regarding this matter and ensuring that justice is done. We are also appreciative of our court that the Honorable Judge has agreed that we mention this matter every month.
We are now positive that finally we'll be served justice after waiting for that long. Yeah, we are pleased with how the things are going on now.
And a man posing as a Kenya Defence Forces brigadier was arrested for issuing fake Ministry of Defence recruitment letters and detained for 7 days as formally being charged. Appearing before Milimani's Chief Magistrate Dolphina Alego, Joshua Mutui Muimi denied the charges and was released on a bond of 1 million shillings. The case is set for pre-trial on 2nd December. Ruth Wamboi for Prime.
Efforts to protect and empower young girls in the Coast region continue as more than 500 girls from 5 counties gather in Mombasa County ahead of the global 16 days of activism against gender-based violence campaign. The girls who convened for the 7th Girl Child Summit held candid discussions around gender-based violence, sexual and reproductive health, and mental wellness. Here is that report.
The young girls drawn from Kilifi, Kwale, Lamu, Tana River and Taita Taveta counties were offered an opportunity to speak candidly about the existing and emerging challenges in their surrounding.
Because with the high rise of GBV, we understand that this affects the young women, how they reason, how they operate, but what issues, or we just want to hear what they think about matters to deal with mental health.
The Girl Child Summit is an annual event which provides a platform for the girls to be educated on reproductive and mental health.
And with this long holiday, it is a platform for us to engage these young girls, to try to see how can we work together, how can they protect themselves, how can we provide a safe space where a girl can speak freely.
A build-up to advocacy campaigns within the global 16 days of activism against gender-based violence.
We have seen cases from where some girls are facing extreme challenges and they lack people to speak to. So through the Girl Summit, it is a safe space where young girls can come, speak, engage freely, and even have a voice on issues and policies that affect their lives.
We also have the access to justice segment, like what kind of rights or what steps should someone take whenever maybe they experience gender-based violence.
The theme of the summit is Empowered Girls, Resilient Communities, All Opportunities.
Let's now take you to the Products Board. It has warned Kenyans pesticides from risks of health, crops and the environment. Details on this and other stories in the news briefs.
Pest Control Products Board Compliance and Enforcement Officer for Western and Nyanza regions, Nicholas Moendo, who spoke in Kakamega town, said that pesticides should only be sold in licensed agrovets, noting that hawkers are not licensed to do such a business.
Let hawkers get out of the streets. Let them sell another thing but not pesticides, because we are not going to accept pesticide being hawked along the streets or anywhere in the country. But if now workers want to be on the safe side, they should come for trainings. We organize for trainings.
Still in Kakamega County, women from Ematere Friends Church have received a major economic boost following the launch of a poultry project supported by staff from Rongo University and Tharaka Nithi University.
We are having a problem of buying chicken or getting chicken. We hope to improve our economic status. We hope to be able to improve our status in the sense that we can be able to buy food for ourselves. We can be able to do the things that we are supposed to do in our day-to-day life.
Once we are started off, I'm sure we will not let those who have made this program come true, will not let them down.
Elsewhere, residents of Merile in Banisa Sub-County, Mandera County, have anonymously agreed to uphold peace and cohesion following months of tension between Gare and Digodia communities.
Najua kwamba hii ni sehemu ambayo ni ya malisho kwa wafugaji wetu, na mara kwa mara wanakutana sehemu hii wakiwa katika malisho. Lakini hivi karibuni kumetokea visa kadhaa ambavyo vimelete taharuki kati ya wafugaji wetu, kati ya jamii ya Degodia na Gare. Kwa hivyo leo tulikuja kuhakikishia kwamba kuna usalama wa kutosha.
Our signal today is to inform all the villagers that peace building is a responsibility for each and every citizen of this country, that unless we work in collaboration with each other, we will not be successful.
Finally, a section of professionals and residents of Mara community in South Imenti constituency, Meru County, convened for their annual development forum to review progress on ongoing projects and prioritize initiatives for the coming year.
The importance is to make sure that we move together as a team, as a community, we support each other, we are able to take stock and count the development that we've taken, because we have all come from this community, and therefore we are here to make sure that we chart the way forward for development, and then we are able now to come up with deliberations that we can pass over to the leaders, and then we come together and work together as a team.
Mara is going to progress very well, and we as the leaders, both the national leaders and the county leadership, we are committed to make Mara one of the best places in South Imenti and Meru Atlantic.
According to the chairperson of Mara Professionals, Francis Moria, the forum serves as a platform to bring together residents, professionals, and local leaders from both the national and county governments to foster collaboration and community development. Kasichana Masha, Prime Edition.
In business, Kenya could join the League of Crude Oil Exporting Countries as early as next year if all processes go as planned. Initially, Kenya is expected to produce 20,000 barrels per day, then gradually increase to 50,000 barrels per day under the first phase of the South Lokichar Basin Field Development Plan. Here is that report as compiled by Sylvia Gatti.
Kenya struck commercial crude oil in Turkana County in 2012, with the Ngamia 1 well being the first discovery by British firm Tullow Oil. The discovery would be followed by more discoveries. However, Tullow Oil exited the Kenyan market after selling its interest to Gulf Energy in September this year. And now, the government says it has approved the field development plan submitted by Gulf Energy, paving the way for processes leading to Kenya starting commercial crude oil production as early as December next year.
The plan outlines how 6 discoveries within the development area will be fully developed, alongside further appraisal and exploration aimed at maximizing resource recovery. The strategy follows a phased approach, beginning with the largest and most technically mature reservoirs
Under the plan, Gulf Energy intends to commercial produce crude oil from 6 discoveries within the South Lokichar Basin. Kenya intends to start producing 20,000 barrels per day, then gradually increase the production.
Phase 1 is projected to produce 20,000 barrels of oil per day, rising to 50,000 barrels per day under Phase 2. The contractor targets first oil by December 2026 and full ramp-up by 2032.
Gulf Energy is expected to invest about 800 billion shillings to recover the projected 326 million barrels over the 25-year contract period. Despite this, revenue sharing from proceeds of the projected crude oil exports remain a thorny issue.
The resource sharing formula is in the law, and it gives the communities 5%, the county government 20%, and the national government 75%. Sorry.
Sylvia Gatti for Prime Edition.
Women Enterprise Fund Chief Executive Officer Rachel Musyoki says borrowers owe the kitty 2.2 billion shillings in unpaid loans, which is straining its operations. She's urging borrowers to service their loans to ensure that the revolving kitty impacts more needy entrepreneurs. Here is that report.
The Women Fund Enterprise needs at least 3 billion shillings each financial year for effective onward lending to women entrepreneurs. The fund's CEO says they currently have only 1 billion shillings for advancing, since some borrowers are yet to repay 2.2 billion shillings, which have been classified as non-performing loans.
On non-performing loans, we have quite a large amount out there, around 2.2 billion. And these are monies that are held up by women of this country, and we can only plead with them to pay back.
Group members, they help each other to do their business, and in times of default, it's the group members that we look to, or that they are accountable for their recoveries.
She says Women Enterprise Fund is in talks with the National Treasury about additional budgetary allocations to enhance operations of the revolving fund.
We have a deficit of funding because we have not received money as an organization towards the kitty of lending for the last 3 financial years. And we have been in communication with the Minister of Treasury through our PS.
The Women Enterprise Fund has partnered with International Labour Organization to train women groups on financial literacy to empower them to run sustainable businesses and service their loans.
Anyone can run a business, but we're looking at, business is risky venture. If you do not have the skills to actually run it and run it well, you might be, you're doing business, but you're not growing.
Beneficiaries are being trained and assessed on, among other business skills, efficient bookkeeping.
These skills that may be seen as very simple from bookkeeping, how to remain competitive, it's how to target your client.
Benson Rioba reporting for Prime Edition.
Into other business, the Kenya Revenue Authority, in collaboration with the British High Commission and Trademark Africa, has unveiled an e-customs mobile application in an elaborate effort to modernize operations at the Busia one-stop border post. As Weekly for Catch reports from Busia, the digital rollout is expected to ease delays at the busy border post by reducing turnaround time from at 40 minutes to less than a minute, thereby sparing traders time and costs.
The journey towards full implementation of the integrated customs management system across entry and exit points has been boosted by the rollout of the e-customs at the BC Busia one-stop border post. According to the KRA, the digital system is expected to significantly reduce clearance time for cargo trucks.
By enabling paperless and seamless processes, this platform will provide traders with faster, more accessible, and more transparent services.
By digitizing customs processes, we are reducing delays, cutting costs, and creating an environment where business can thrive.
And we're now looking at what next generation solutions look like, such as installing smart gates to quicken the entry and exit of cargo at the border.
The e-customs enables traders and passengers to self-declare their cargo.
KRA remains committed to continued investment in technology to ensure our processes remain as efficient and user-friendly as possible.
This mobile app is much more than a tech upgrade. It's a game changer for trade, efficiency, and transparency.
Trademark, in fact, has invested significantly in putting in place systems here in Busia and at other border posts to help cross-border traders, to train them, to integrate them in joint border management systems, and we will continue that commitment.
Reporting for Channel 1 from Busia County, I am Wycliffe Okech.
Consolidated Bank Group has bounced back to profitability after reporting a net profit 80.2 million shillings for the first 9 months of 2025, which is a turnaround of 160.8% from the loss of 131.92 million shillings the lender recorded during a similar period in 2024. The profit was mainly driven by higher net interest income. Here is that report.
Net loans and advances reduced 2% from 8.5 billion shillings to 8.3 billion shillings. This was perhaps due to 9.2% increase in gross non-performing loans to 3.78 billion shillings. From the net loans and advances, Consolidated Bank netted 1.48 billion shilling in total interest income, which was up 10.6%. This was mainly supported by a 54.2% increase in interest income on government securities to 583.03 million shillings, which was offset a reduction in interest income on loans and advances from 968.7 million shillings to 875.9 million shillings. Furthermore, total non-interest income increased 10% to 483.86 million shillings. On the other hand, total interest expenses reduced 9.1% to 581.2 million shillings. This helped turn around Consolidated Bank performance to a net profit of 80.24 million shillings. Customer deposits increased 4% to 12.3 billion shillings, helping push up the lender's total assets by 22% to 19.3 billion shillings.
On to tech matters. Kenya Power is rolling out a new meter reading system targeting its 1.8 million postpaid customers after piloting it in Nairobi in March this year. The new postpaid meter reading system eliminates the need for manual typing of meter numbers and readings, instead allowing for the scanning of meter displays to facilitate processing of meter readings.
The new postpaid meter reading system, known as optical character recognition or OCR, allow members readers to scan meter display instead of typing numbers manually, process the company say will significantly cut down on errors and speed up monthly billing. The rollout target of a 1.8 million postpaid meters that still require physical reading every month.
We have 1.9 million meters that we read every month, so we have to go out there, pick the reading, and then use that to produce the bill. The other 8.2 million meters are either the token one that I've talked about, where the customers buy the token, and we have another 300,000 where we are able to read remotely, so we don't have to go there physically to pick the meter.
Kenya Power says their technology will also help reduce billing complaints and improve customer experience, complementing existing digital tools which already allow customers to submit their own reading.
We have been looking at how do we make it better, and not just better, how do we make it accurate? So we are moving towards what we call the smart metering, which enables us to remotely interrogate or be able to see or to pick any information that we need from the meter.
In addition, Kenya Power is deploying smart meter for large users, SMEs and selected household, allowing for remote reading and remote disconnection or reconnection.
We have developed OCR for meter reading that will be able to eliminate what we call the human errors, and apart from eliminating the human errors, also reduce on the time taken to read the meters on site.
Across the borders in the world of business, the Mayor of London has cautiously welcomed reports that he is to impose a tourist levy on visitors staying overnight in the capital. Chancellor Rachel Reeves is expected to give Sir Sadiq Khan and other civic chiefs the authority to do so through the English Devolution and Community Empowerment Bill, which is currently going through Parliament. Here are the details of this and other stories making headlines across the globe.
Sir Sadiq Khan has been vocal in calling for such powers to be devolved, with estimates suggesting a tourist tax in London could raise up to £240 million a year. Currently, England is the only country among the world's 7 largest so-called advanced economies where national government prevents local authorities or mayors from implementing tourist levies. Scotland and Wales have both recently introduced different types of taxes on overnight visitors, with local authorities in the former able to set their own levy as a percentage rate of the daily bill for accommodation. From 2026, Welsh authorities will be able to collect £1.30 per night from visitors, and in 2024, London saw 89 million overnight stays. Meanwhile, multiple international airlines from countries such as Brazil, Colombia, Chile and Portugal have suspended their flights to and from Venezuela. The suspension came after the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration warned major airlines of a potentially hazardous situation when flying over Venezuela and urged them to exercise caution. U.S. officials say the United States is prepared to launch a new round of actions related to Venezuela in the coming days. In response, Venezuelan Defense Minister says action by the U.S. poses an enormous challenge to the peace and security of the Caribbean region. Finally, Jordan's tourism sector is recovering following the first phase Gaza ceasefire in October, with bookings surging at key destinations such as Wadi Rum, Petra and the Dead Sea after 2 years of conflict-induced decline. As the peak season approaches from late December to early January, Jordan is hoping to reverse the severe downturn caused by 2 years of regional conflict. Known as the Valley of the Moon for its Mars-like red desert landscape, Wadi Rum was once a magnet for international filmmakers and travelers. But as regional tensions escalated, the flow of visitors dried up, and local tourism operators face their harshest winter yet.
In a world where news is ever-changing, staying informed is more important than ever.
Join us every week on News Check, your go-to show for the latest in current affairs, breaking news and in-depth analysis.
A warm welcome to KBC News Check.
From politics to global events, we bring you content that matter to you.
We're not just speaking about the governance and how we want to see it, but want to actually participate.
Get your facts, hear from the experts, and really understand what is happening around you.
We need to change our system first.
You have to do the impossible to make sure the message is home.
Stay ahead, stay informed, stay engaged.
Will these people, everybody agree?
Just listen to me.
Let's give him a chance to clear the air.
Catch News Check every Tuesday and Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Only on KBC Channel 1.
Je, wewe ni mpenda soka? Na je, wajua kuwa KBC mwenzio wako wa dhati mchezoni anakujali? Ndio maana KBC Channel 1 hukuletea taarifa na uchambuzi wa soka.
CAF ndio wamechukua usukani
humu nchini, barani Afrika na ugaibuni, ikiwemo EPL, Serie A, Bundesliga na ligi zingine. Mashabiki pia hutuzwa kwa kujibu maswali kuhusiana na soka.
Swali letu la leo.
Haya yote ni kwenye kipindi cha Dunda Dunda kwenye KBC Channel 1 kila Ijumaa kuanzia saa 5 asubuhi hadi saa 6:30 mchana.
Nawahimiza Wakenya waendelee ku-watch Dunda Dunda show.
KBC, wenzio wa dhati michezoni.
And time for the latest from the sports world with me, Bernardo Kumu. Kenya's junior stars kept their semi-final hopes alive after a convincing 2-0 victory over South Sudan in the ongoing Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations CAF qualifiers in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Now the junior stars got off to a bright start with Derek Hatete opening the scoring in the 11th minute. Kenya held on to their lead for the better part of the match before Trevor Nacesario sealed the win in the 89th minute. In Group A, host Ethiopia have already secured a place in the semi-finals and lead the standings with 7 points. Kenya sits second with 4 points, while Somalia are third on 3 points. Kenya began their campaign with a 1-1 draw against Somalia. The latest victory adds to Kenya's momentum following their hard 4-2-1 win against Rwanda on Friday at the Abebe Bikila Stadium. In Group B, Tanzania tops the standings with 9 points ahead of Uganda on 6 and Burundi with 3. The junior stars will now be looking to carry their winning form into the final round of their group matches when they play host Ethiopia on Thursday. And Kenyan boxers Consolata Musanga and Richard Ogola are putting in final touches on their preparations before taking to the ring for the UFS Boxing Fight Night set for November 29th at the Age Convention Center here in Nairobi. Musanga will face Sandra Atemo of Sweden in the main bout to be preceded by the bout between Ogola and Bruno Muwezi of Uganda.
After weeks of preparations for Kenyan boxers, the stage is set for the UFS BXNG Fight Night, set for this Saturday at the Age Convention Center in Nairobi. Consolata Musanga, who will be taking on Sandra Atemo of Sweden in the main bout, is fully prepared, looking for her 9th career win.
Siri nayo niko nayo kubwa ya kupikana hili pikano la niko na uhakika nitashinda. Angaja hata simujui ini ndani yake simujui vizuri, lakini hili pikano nitashinda.
The 36-year-old has fought 23 fights, winning 8, and wants to record another win, especially now that she will be fighting on home soil. That main bout will come after Richard Ogola takes on Ugandan Bruno Muwezi.
Nimejiandaa vizuri kulingana na mazoezi nimefanya tangu mwanzo vile niliambiwa game inaorganiziwa. Nimekuwa nikipiga mazoezi, nimekuwa nikienda ma road work, nimefanya bad work, sparring, zote niko tayari.
30-year-old Ogola is making his final touches on his preparations, hoping to record a 7th career win, having already won 6 of his previous 9 fights.
Ticket wanunue mapema, zisiishe kama hawajanunua ticket, na wakuje kwa wingi, wakuje wanishangilie kwa vile tukiwa nyumbani tunaonanga tunakuanga na furaha. Ukienda game nje unakuanga tu na coach wako na wewe mwenyewe peke yako wawili tu, lakini hao wako na watu wao wanafurahia. Lakini sasa hii najifunia niko nyumbani, hata ile furaha niko nayo.
Poster ya game kuna link ya ticket sasa hapo ndo wanaweza enda wakiklik hapo itawaletea vile wanaweza buy ticket, walipe through M-Pesa, wakuja ni shabiki. Mimi ndawanisha game nzuri, niko tayari na ndawafurahisha hiyo siku.
Musanga and Atemo will be in the ring for 10 rounds, while Ogola and Muwezi will fight in a 6-round bout.
Boxing na SportPesa naweza washukuru baada ya kuorganize game kama hizi, na pia naomba siku zijazo pia UFS na SportPesa wazidi kusponsor game kama hizi, ndio pesa tupate kusaidika kama maboxers tuko wengi hapa chini, but tunapata hakuna magame kwa sababu hakuna mtu akona uwezo wa kuorganize game kama hizo. But kama UFS imejitokeza na SportPesa kuorganize game kama hizo, maboxers wako wengi, machampions wako, na tuko tayari kuonesha mchezo wetu na talanta zetu.
More than 5 fights are on card in the event organized by UFS BXNG and SportPesa, and will be carrying the message of mental wellness.
Moving on, Kenya's Ian Wamboi stole the show at the Tokyo 2025 Summer Deaf Olympics, winning gold in the men's 5,000 meters and shattering both the games and world records that had stood for over a decade. The race held at the Komazawa Olympic Park Gymnasium. So a clean podium sweep for Kenya. Wamboi clinched victory in a remarkable 13 minutes and 52.83 seconds, breaking the previous world and Deaf Olympics record of 14 minutes and 2.90 seconds set by Simon Kibai at the 2013 Games in Sofia, Bulgaria. James Musembi took silver in 14 minutes and 15.28 seconds, while Nelson Kipkorir secured bronze with 14 minutes and 43.35 seconds. In the women's 5,000 meters, Kenya's Viola Jelimo earned a bronze medal after finishing third. The race was won by Portugal's Mira da Silva, with Abubakirova Lulia Emivina being placed second. Kenya has now amassed 14 medals at the Games, including 5 gold, 5 silver, and 4 bronze. And Kisingo Bashir, Brian Shisia, and Lincoln Iwoi emerged winners in their respective categories during the Kisumu leg of the Kenya Esports Series that culminated over the weekend at Allianz Fonse. Meanwhile, Leeds United and Macmillan FC were crowned champions of the men's and women's football titles at the Nairobi Region's Bingwa Fest Sports Extravaganza held at Nyayo National Stadium. Kisingo Bashir defeated Alan Mwinami 6-3 to win the EFC 26 category. En route to the finals, Bashir had defeated favourite James Awinyo in the semi-finals, while Alan saw off Joshua Gutu. The top 5 players are from the category clinched slots in the series national finals scheduled February 2026. Brian Shisia won the FC Mobile category after dislodging David Ochiel. Meanwhile, Lincoln Iwoi dominated the eFootball Mobile division after a tough battle against David Kipngetich. Following the completion of the Kisumu leg, attention now switches to the Mombasa and Nairobi rounds before the culmination of the series in February 2026. Elsewhere, Leeds United beat Lakisama Sports 3-0 to retain the Nairobi Region Bingo Fest football title at Nyayo National Stadium. Henry Krop struck twice in the second half before Jasper Mwando added a third to seal the win for the Kangemi best outfit. Macmillan Starlets beat Embakasi Ladies 2-1 to win the ladies title. Following the victories walked away with 1 million shillings each, while second and third place teams were awarded $500,000 and 250,000 shillings respectively. In rugby, Stingers saw off Black Blood 7-5 to lift the men's final, while Kiambaa women defeated Kenya Harlequins women 27-0 in the ladies' final. The 6th edition of the County Assemblies Sports Association CASA Games kicked off today at Kinoru Stadium in Meru County. The event opened with a march past by participating teams, followed by a moment of silence in honor of the late former Prime Minister Raila Odinga and the Senior Sergeant at Arms of the Kilifi County Assembly, who passed away today while receiving treatment at a hospital in Meru Town. Speaking during the ceremony, Meru Governor Reverend Isaac Muchuma noted that sports serves as a powerful unifying force, bringing counties together not as rivals or political factions but as teammates. The compatriots and one people, he encouraged the residents of Meru County to take full advantage of the economic opportunities presented by the 10-day event.
The theme of this year's games, harnessing the power of sports and culture to reignite hope and restoration in times of crisis, captures the moment we are in as a country.
Well, and that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Bernardo Kumu.
At notes, we have come to the end of Prime Edition. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your feedback on our social media platforms. For more details on aired items and many more, do log on to www.kbc.co.ke. For tonight is Lucy Mwaura. Good night. God bless you.
Are you a talented artist? Or are you passionate about a topic you want to discuss? But money can be very hard to find for an upcoming artist. Don't Don't worry, Studio Mashinani has got your back. Sign up on ajira.co.ke to book a session with your music and video producers across the country. Work on your music, jingles, spoken words, and even podcasts to realize your dream. All for free. Studio Mashinani, Radani Talent.